Hi, it's Tanya Kite. Welcome to my Getting Prepped for Reading Wonders presentation. I certainly hope that you enjoy it and you find the information to be useful. I know you guys got this. You're going to be awesome. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, guys, so the first place you should start is deciding your timeline for the year. How many days will you use for each week? Are you going to teach it Monday through Friday? Are you going to do the 5-day cycle? Are you going to do more than a 5-day cycle? Are you going to use week 6? You also need to think about your testing guidelines. My district decides that after the 4th test, we're not going to read to them anymore. So that's something else that you need to decide as a team or as a grade level so that you know what's going to be happening throughout the year so you're all on the same page. After you decide on these factors, these files are right in Dropbox and you can edit them, and the next slide is going to walk you through finding that file on Dropbox. Hey guys, so I want to tell you how to access Dropbox in case you don't know. First, you're going to go to the Reading Wonders Facebook page. When you scroll down to the very first post, you'll see where it says pinned post. Right there is the Dropbox link. So if you'll click on that, it will pull up all the files that you have access to. Once you access this link, you can copy the link or bookmark it so that you can find it easily if you're not on Facebook. So to access your timelines on Dropbox, I'm going to click on the folder that says 0 timeline. As soon as you click on it, it's going to bring up those files there, and number 1 says first grade year at a glance. So as soon as you click on that one, it's going to pull up the year at a glance, which once you download it, you're going to be able to edit the dates. So it's really important that you go ahead and pick out whether you're going to do 5 days a week, or if you're going to do Monday through Friday, you're going to extend it to 6, 7, 8 days. Once you decide that, you can go in and plug in your dates so you have an idea where you're heading at towards the end of the year. So once you have your year timeline figured out, it's now time to work on your daily schedule. So once you have found out how many minutes your reading block will be, then you're able to schedule out when you want specific events to happen in your room. So how is it going to be structured? Are you going to do whole group at the beginning, do some small centers, and then come back together for a whole group? Are you going to do whole group and then break down into centers? And when you're doing your centers or rotations, how many groups are you going to have? And will you see all of your groups every day? So those are some questions to keep in mind. This schedule here is the one that I used from last year. And of course, you have to tweak it a little bit. I have ESE students, ESOL students, and speech students. So my schedule has to be flexible. But this is a pretty good gist of what I did during the year. So once you have your year plan and your daily schedule figured out, the next thing you're going to want to work on is lesson planning. The plans I have in Dropbox are gradual release plans. So it's I do, we do, partner do, then you do. That way it's nice gradual release, gives you time to model and scaffold before students are doing things on their own. The plans I have are a long form, but it's pretty much copy and pasted from the lesson plan manual, so you don't have to carry your teacher edition book around with you everywhere you go. You can just grab your paper and go. And there are shorter versions online that you can pay for on Teacher Pay Teacher. But these plans are here for you. If you want to edit them, you're more than welcome to. Definitely, if you're using them, make sure you add your accommodations and also change it to meet your state standards. To access the plans in Dropbox, you're going to click on the number 1 folder that says Lesson Plans. You're going to select the unit that you're on. So I'm going to select Unit 1, and I'm going to do Week 1 since it's the first lesson. Click on Lesson Plans, and then you'll see Unit 1, Week 1. You can pull it up, and there's also the center plan there for you as well. So then once you download it, you can edit it as you need. I store all my lesson plans and master copies in these binders. I use one binder per unit, and then I have separate binders for my RTI plans. This has been really helpful for me, so when I'm getting ready to make copies for that unit, I can grab the binder out quickly and all of my master copies are there. If you would like to have the binder spines, they are in the From Me to You file in Dropbox. As you can see, I like to keep my things organized, so I use these Avery dividers in my binders to keep my weeks separated. If you have anything that has a plastic sleeve on it, you'll need to use the big tabs that are on the left-hand side. If you're not using anything with a protective sleeve on it, you can use the side on the right. So just as I keep my binders organized, I also keep my filing cabinet organized. It makes it so much easier when I'm going to pull copies or I have extra copies left over and I want to file them away. On the left-hand side, you can see all of the labels that I do use. And I also use that for weeks 1 through 5. And then for week 6, I changed it up a little bit, and you'll see that on the left-hand side. So earlier I showed you how to access your center plans. This is a copy of the center plan here for Unit 1, Week 1. And just like all of my documents, you're able to edit it to make sure it matches the needs of your students. But as you're getting ready to plan, you need to think about how many groups are you going to have? Will you meet with them each day? What activities are you going to do in the centers? And make sure that you edit it as you go along. If something changes or you like something or you dislike something, so that when it comes time for next year, you kind of have that to go by. One of the centers that my students go to is the Fluency and Comprehension Center. When they are there, they're going to reread the weekly story, whether it be the workshop book or the anthology story. When they're finished, they can review their high frequency words and their spelling words. And I expect that they're completing their graphic organizer and summary for each story that we do. Sometimes I do start off with the graphic organizer at my table so that they can get an idea of what they're supposed to be doing. But usually my high kids are able to do that on their own, and I mostly just have to help the medium and low group. Now, when the students are working at the Fluency and Comprehension station, they don't always get finished. So what I have them do is go to their colored folder that matches their group color and have them place their paperwork in that folder so that the next day they can come back and get it. I also have my students write front to back on their paper. So 1, it saves paper, and then 2, I don't have to pass out more copies during the week. During the writing stations, the students will respond to a writing prompt that pertains to the specific stories from the week. The prompts that I've created are in Dropbox, and each prompt does have a picture that matches with it, so it kind of jogs the students' memory as to what they should be writing about. They do put the responses in their journals. They don't always write about it during the specific week that the story takes place. Sometimes we'll have them do it during week 6 for some additional work. When the students go to the Word Workstation, the first thing that they do is get their differentiated Your Turn practice book. You'll see on the right-hand side that there are colored folders, yellow, blue, red, and green. I've used those folders to match up with the differentiated pages. I print my approaching levels on pink paper and put them in the red folder. Print the on level on gold paper and it goes in the yellow folder. And I print the beyond level on green and blue paper and put them in the green and blue folders. That way there's enough for the groups. What I do is I will post those differentiated pages on my window blinds, as you see in the picture on the left. Sometimes there's only one worksheet for them to do, and then they will have a list of spelling words or high frequency words that they have to write about, or sometimes there are 2 sheets for them to do. They respond to me in their journals, and then we use Seesaw, so they take a picture of their work and message it to me. Here are some samples of my students working in the Word Workstation. The groups have their specific colored folder, and they are responding in their journal. Now, in order to find these differentiated worksheet pages, you'll need to go online to the Wonder site and download the manuals. Since Wonders does not offer any hands-on manipulatives for word work, I have used the bundle from Reagan Tunstall, from Tunstall's Teaching Tidbits. I really like the bundle, but it doesn't quite fit my needs exactly, so I am planning to create something that's going to fit a little better, and I will share that as soon as it's ready. But in the picture on the left, my students have to do a sort and highlight the spelling pattern. And on the right is the phonics activity from Reagan Tunstall, where the students have to build the word, color the word, and then write the word. These activities here are also from Reagan Tunstall. The picture on the left, the kids get a card and they have to read 3 separate words and decide which word matches the picture. And then on the right-hand side are spelling words, and then they have pictures, and so kids can match the pictures up. They can sort them by the spelling pattern, and when they're done, they can take a picture of it for Seesaw and then record themselves reading it to me. I also like to make sure my students have hands-on grammar practice. So I found different places on Teacher Pay Teacher that correspond with our grammar activities. And I do try to make sure that they have a recording sheet to keep them accountable. And again, when they're finished, I have them take a picture of it for Seesaw and either explain it to me or give me some examples. The other station that I use is Teacher Time. This is when the students come to my table and I give them support with the things that they need. My low group, I really have to offer them a lot of support with reading, phonemic awareness, spelling, frequency words. My middle groups need a little less support, but they still need some support. And then my high group, I have to make sure I give them something beyond their level. As you can see in this picture, my students are practicing a structural analysis sheet that I created, and it's in a protective sleeve so we can practice and erase as we need to. As you can see in the pictures, there are several different types of tasks that I will do at my station. We do the leveled readers, we'll practice phonics, phonemic awareness, and high frequency words. You'll see me practicing structural analysis, analytical writing, research writing, rereading the text and writing our graphic organizer. I just have to look at each group and see what each group needs. And what I did last year is not the same as the year I did before or the year I did before that. So each time it's going to change based on your kids' needs. I also incorporate technology into my reading stations. Here the students are working on Smarty Ants, which helps them with phonics, high frequency words, fluency and comprehension. We also do Reading Wonders online, AR, ABCA, and Write Reader during center time. My students also use Seesaw to record their work with pictures. They can leave me audio clips to let me know how they're reading the words fluently or let me know that they can read the words. I have 2 desktops, 2 laptops, and 4 tablets. I try to make sure that the students take turns on all the different devices so they get familiar with them, but also so that they learn to take turns. In order to keep my Reading Wonders materials organized, I purchased 30 scrapbook boxes from michaels.com. I waited until there was a sale, and then I created labels to go on them. I like to print all of my things on photo paper, so I had my cards printed at walmart.com, and then I was able to laminate them, cut them down, and use Velcro dots to secure them on. They have not fallen off yet, and on the right-hand side, you can see a picture of just 1 week's worth of Reading Wonders in the bins, and to see what it looks like. The scrapbook boxes are very good storage space. I can put the leveled readers, the leveled decodable books, the writing prompts, the phonics games, the grammar games, any of my posters that I've made, like for high frequency words, spelling words, or vocabulary words. I can also slide those into the box. And it's perfect because each week I just pull out the box that I need, and the students know where to return all the materials to. And then when that week's over, I pop it back on the shelf and grab out the next week. And it's so easy. At our school, we have to have a focus wall. My focus wall for comprehension has 2 sections. the first section is this comprehension standard that we're currently learning. It has the poster, the vocabulary, and work samples to show that the standard is being met. On the review side, it's the review standard of something that students are not getting well. It could be something from last week or from a prior week, but the vocabulary and the standards have to be posted there. On my phonics board, I also have the standards posted, as well as extra cards for the phonics skill, and then spelling and high frequency word posters. Those posters are in Dropbox if you need them. These standard posters I got from Jason's online store on Teacher Pay Teacher. At the end of each week, you want to make sure that you print out the weekly test. I prefer to print them out in booklet form because it makes it easier for the kids to flip back and forth when they're trying to find text evidence. It also saves paper. We read the test to our students only to 1.4. After 1.4, they're on their own and they must be able to read the text by themselves. We can read the directions for phonemic awareness, but other than that, they need to be able to test on their own. We do teach our students some test-taking strategies. So you see here on the left a sample where the student had to find the text evidence and they underlined it. They know how to do that because we use the poster on the right-hand side, which is also in Dropbox, and it helps walk them through the steps of what they should be doing when they are testing. After you grade the test, you can use this progress monitoring tracker to track the progress of your students and put their first name, last name, and all their other information there. And then you can put an X if they missed the question, and the box will populate yellow. And at the bottom, it will tally up how many students missed that question. So that can let you know if it's something that you need to do better at reteaching, or you can also see, did they just not understand the test question, so that you can be more prepared for reteaching or to teach it better next time. At the end, you can put the score, and if you have to do grade recovery, which we have to do at our school, if you test them again, then you can put in the new score to show growth. Or if they didn't grow, you have that data also for Tier 2. This is not something that's required by Wonders or required by my district, but it's something that I do to help my students, and it helps me build my RTI groups, my small groups. This is a sample RTI lesson for Unit 1, Week 1. It's really important that you see what questions your students missed so that you know what lessons from the Tier 2 Reading Wonders manual to reteach. You can put the students' names underneath of each day so you know which students you need to pull for those specific lessons. This is also handy for when you are gathering your Tier 2 data. So start prepping today. One thing that is helpful is going to Dropbox and just start looking around. See what resources are available to you, and also check Facebook often. If I add something to Dropbox, I will let you know on Facebook, and that way you will have access to it as well. If you want to go ahead and get your lesson plans ready, you can edit your standards for your state. I typically print out my lesson plans with no accommodations, but when I submit them online to my administration, I make sure my accommodations are listed there. You can get your file folders ready. You can print master copies and store them by units in your binders, and you can make a list of things to copy. I like lists, so I made this prep sheet to help me make sure I have everything I need to teach that specific week. If you don't like this list and you want to edit it, you're more than welcome to. It is available on Dropbox to be edited. It goes through Smart Start Week 1, Week 2, and then it starts Unit 1 and all the way to 6.6. It's really helped me when I'm making my lesson plans or making sure my scrapbook box has everything it's supposed to have. And it's helping me this summer to see what I still need to go back and tweak or add to. Thank you for watching the presentation. I really appreciate all your support. If you have any questions, definitely send me a message or a post on the First Grade Reading Wonders Facebook group. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.